What happens when Princess Leonor becomes queen? The air was electric. Spain held its breath. A young princess walked not just towards a throne, but towards history. Princess Leonor. A name whispered in hope, in expectation, in awe. But what happens when this heir becomes queen? The world thinks it knows. They don't. Royalty is tradition. Royalty is ceremony. But Leonor, she is change incarnate. The familiar pomp will meet a new era. Spain's future, poised on a crown, ready to rewrite the rules. Imagine the ceremonies. The crowds lining the streets. The flags waving. Yet behind the smiles, behind the pageantry, a girl will face choices that will echo across Europe. Decisions that will define a kingdom, a monarchy, and a people. She was raised for this. Every lesson, every duty, every glance at history has led to this moment. But power is more than preparation. It is courage. It is vision. And the question lingers, will she honor the past, or will she redefine it? The story of Leonor is not just a story of crowns. It is the story of a family navigating loyalty, love, and legacy. The whispers of palace corridors speak of responsibility heavy enough to bend the strongest shoulders. Yet, within those whispers is excitement, the chance to witness a queen not born from tradition alone, but from promise. From her childhood in Madrid, walking through the halls of the Zarzuela Palace, to her education abroad, she has been quietly observing, learning. Observing the world's leaders, learning diplomacy, etiquette, and history. Every conversation, every challenge, a rehearsal for the throne. When she ascends, the eyes of the world will not just look at her crown, they will watch her actions. How will she balance duty and empathy? Tradition and innovation. The ceremonial robes and the very real pulse of her people's hopes. Europe remembers queens who ruled and queens who transformed. Leonor faces both expectations and skepticism. Can a young woman in her 20s shoulder centuries of monarchy while speaking to a modern generation craving relevance, transparency, and connection? The answer is in her every word, every decision, every act of grace. Family tensions are inevitable. Public scrutiny is relentless. But it is here, in these crucibles, that true leadership is forged. Each smile at a gala, each handshake at an official engagement, is a test of patience, intelligence, and empathy. The cameras will capture the elegance, the people will measure the authenticity. Spain will watch. Denmark, the UK, France, the rest of Europe will watch. The world will assess, silently comparing her to predecessors, to expectations, to dreams. And she will learn quickly, a queen is not merely an emblem. She is a symbol, a mediator, a guide. A heartbeat within a nation. Leonor's vision is being quietly shaped. Will she focus on diplomacy, social reform, environmental advocacy? Will she modernize ceremonies, elevate public engagement, embrace transparency in a monarchy often cloaked in tradition? The possibilities stretch as far as her ambition and courage allow. Behind closed doors, her mentors whisper advice. Lessons learned from Felipe VI, from Queen Letizia. The legacy of Spain's monarchy is both a burden and a blueprint. And yet, Leonor's instincts are her own, a mix of youthful empathy, careful observation, and quiet confidence. History will remember the day she sits on the throne, not just for its grandeur, but for its significance. It is more than a coronation, it is a statement. A signal to a generation that monarchy can evolve, endure, and inspire. The crown she will wear is not just gold. It is responsibility, scrutiny, hope, and opportunity, all intertwined. The ceremonies will unfold. Dignitaries will arrive. Speeches will be delivered. Yet, in the midst of the spectacle, the real story will be quieter, more profound. It is in her interactions, her decisions, her ability to listen as much as lead. The throne is a stage, but the reign is lived in moments, small, decisive, human. Public opinion will swing like the pendulum of history. Supporters will cheer. Critics will analyze. But a true queen understands that leadership is measured not in applause, but in the impact on the lives of her people. And Leonor is poised to learn, adapt, and lead with both mind and heart. The transformation from princess to queen is not instantaneous. It is gradual, complex, nuanced. Every engagement, every ceremonial duty, every act of charity will sculpt her image, her authority, and her influence. Spain's future depends not only on the crown, but on the character behind it. Her education abroad, her experiences among peers from across the globe, her exposure to differing cultures and ideas, all of this will inform her reign. It is not just about inheriting a throne, it is about inheriting responsibility, and using it wisely. Challenges will arise. Political pressures, societal expectations, and the ever-present gaze of the media will test her at every turn. Yet it is in these tests that Leonor will reveal the essence of her leadership. Compassion coupled with decisiveness, wisdom tempered by empathy, tradition honored, innovation embraced. Imagine her first major decision as queen. The world speculates, advisors counsel, history watches. The ripple effects will be felt not only in Spain, but across Europe. Monarchies often represent continuity, yet her reign has the potential to signify transformation. Her relationship with the people will define her legacy. Will she connect with them not only as a figurehead but as a relatable, inspiring leader? Her capacity to bridge the past and the present, to honor tradition while embracing progress, will shape the monarchy for generations to come. Every ceremonial robe, every crown jewel, every meticulously rehearsed smile is secondary to her real task, leading with heart, intellect, and courage. The true coronation is not marked by fanfare, but by the respect and trust earned from those she serves. The lessons of history are abundant. Queens who have led with vision, integrity, and compassion are remembered for centuries. Leonor's path will be carved not just by the grandeur of palace life, but by the enduring effects of her actions on her people. And yet, she is human. Her fears, her doubts, her hopes are all part of the story. The weight of expectation is immense, but within it lies the possibility to inspire, to modernize, to unify. Spain waits for a queen who understands both crown and citizen, tradition and transformation. The ceremony will end, but her journey will have only begun. Each day on the throne will present choices, triumphs, and lessons. Each interaction will be a chance to lead, to learn, to leave a mark that endures beyond marble halls and gilded frames. History will judge her, yes, but her people will live her reign. And through every challenge, every decision, every moment of grace, the world will witness a young queen shaping her legacy, not just as a monarch but as a symbol of Spain's evolving spirit. Princess Leonor's ascension is not just a change in title. It is the birth of a new chapter. The question remains, what happens when she becomes queen? The answer will be written in her actions, her courage, and her vision. And as Spain watches, hope and history march forward together, led by a queen prepared not just to wear the crown, but to define what it means to rule.